Apex has a lot of hard things to work to, like the 20 bomb, like the reactive flatline, but there's one thing that's been out for nearly a year that still nobody has got because it's so hard to get. So we're going to go over that, how to get it, and also loads of other rare stuff in Apex. It's actually quite easy to find the rarest stuff in Apex because we can use Apex Legend status to show us cosmetic stats, which is really useful. So we can see things like this. The least equipped legendary skin in the game is the Dressed for Luxury skin that only came out a few weeks ago in the Lunar New Year event. There's only 0.001% of people that have this skin equipped, which is quite insane. You would think a few more people would have it. And the rarest / least equipped skin in the whole game is the Air Raid Bangalore skin. I mean, you can kind of see why nobody wears this. It's kind of useless, and also you had to pay a lot of money for just a simple epic skin. And the stats say there's 0% people with this equipped, so I'm not sure if there's literally that little people they can't show you a percentage, or just nobody is wearing this thing on this database. And also, every single skin from the threat level event, which is a really controversial event, has an extremely low pick rate. So we can see that this event didn't sell very well, which makes sense because they were the most uninspired recolors I've ever seen. Naturally, after we talk about skins, a lot of you will be wondering, what's the least equipped heirloom in the game? Because obviously heirlooms are a big part of the game, everybody wants one. So which is the one that the least people have? Well, one of the main ways we can find out is through how many people have their heirloom pose equipped, because we can't see a direct percentage for how many people have a certain heirloom equipped. And the least equipped heirloom pose is Gibraltar's heirloom pose, meaning likely there's not a lot of people using his heirloom. So if you have it right now, well, maybe pat yourself on the back and use it a bit more, because people probably don't see it that much. Although with the introduction of heirloom recolors, which actually don't come with a pose, the least equipped heirloom is more than likely an heirloom recolor. And to elaborate on that a bit more, it's probably the crypto heirloom recolor, which came out a few weeks ago with absolutely no announcement straight into the Mythic store. And not a lot of people even know that they released this. But then when we go on to the rarest badges, it gets a bit weirder, because obviously there's going to be some super rare badges like the developer badge that can only be obtained through working at Respawn, which is obviously the hardest badge for Apex players to get, getting a job. But also when you look at the page of the rarest badges, we start to realize something pretty weird. Basically, as you scroll down, you see loads of damage badges, yes, they're hard to get, loads of rank badges, which are also hard to get because they take a big grind, and loads of old event badges, which are only obtainable for a 2-week period. But when we start to hit the bottom, instead of seeing super rare old badges, we start to see a lot of weapon mastery badges, which were introduced nearly a year ago. Like, tell me how all these badges that are literally just for grinding certain guns are rarer to see than a Respawn developer badge, which is at a 0.001% rarity. Well, I'll tell you why. It's because I'm pretty sure nobody playtested any of the challenges in the mastery system, and believe it or not, if you get every single weapon in Apex on the mastery system to level 100, you will unlock a banner that nobody has. But why does nobody have it? Well, like I said previously, if you want this banner, you need to get every single gun to level 100. So let's, for example, try to get the Spitfire to level 100. First of all, the most efficient way to level up your weapon in Apex is run around with it in your hands. Not have any actual experience or show a skill with it, literally run around with it in your hands, which the game discourages at every single corner. Okay, nice. Now your gun should be slowly leveling up with the XP that you get from holding your weapon. But wait, it's not smooth sailing from here, because when you hit level 20, you'll get your first weapon trial, where you need to crack 2 enemies from the same squad in one match. Pretty easy. And then on level 40, you get a second trial, where in one match you need to get 3 assists. Also pretty easy. At level 60, you need to knock one enemy and break their knockdown. Pretty easy. At level 80, this is like after a couple hundred hours of grinding by just holding your weapon in your hands all the time, your trial is to knock 2 enemies without reloading. Also pretty easy. And then your final trial at level 100. In one match, fire at least 500 rounds with at least a 51% accuracy. Which is pretty much by all means impossible, because this means you need to get a 4K badge entirely with the Spitfire while never missing over half your shots, which I don't think anybody has actually done before. And then after you complete that pretty much impossible challenge, you need to do it on the rest of the 24 guns in Apex. And these impossible challenges are absolutely everywhere in the weapon challenge system. For example, there's another challenge that's pretty much widely considered impossible for the triple take, where you need to down an enemy in one shot that's executing your teammate. But this is a bit hard, because how often are enemies executing your teammates while on low health enough to get one shot by a triple take? And then God forbid you get onto the Kraber challenges, where you need to get a 360 no scope with a Kraber and also knock an enemy while they're skydiving with the Kraber. But surely when you complete these weapon challenges, there's really good rewards. Well, not really. Basically, if you grind for hundreds of hours and get one of your weapons to level 100, your rewards are a legendary pack for that weapon, so you basically are confirmed one legendary skin, and also a badge, a banner frame, and a gold UI icon for your weapon, which seems like a lot, but isn't a lot when you end up grinding 300 hours for this. And like I said previously, if you get level 100 on every single weapon in the game, you will then unlock this banner frame, which nobody in the world owns right now, even after a year of it being out, because it's just so hard to get, and I don't even think anybody's a quarter of the way there, or even an eighth of the way there, because it's just so impossible to grind all of these weapons. The weapon mastery system desperately needs a rework, and until it gets one, this is going to be an unobtainable or super rare item in Apex. And if you want to be super famous in the Apex community, I guess grind every single gun and be that one guy who got the banner frame. But basically, Respawn does desperately need to rework these challenges, because it's not even a viable grind that you can say, oh, I'm going to spend a week grinding towards this and spend a lot of time on Apex. The grind is that hard, everybody does it for an hour and then gives up. And this is definitely aided by how bad the free rewards are that you get for mastering your weapon. It's not even worth it in any single way. So Respawn, please rework and give us like at least a unique weapon skin for completing these challenges, because nobody cares about weapon mastery right now. One thing that worries me though is the fact that around half a year ago, there was a lot of people who started data mining the fact that there was going to be a Legends mastery system coming up, which I would assume works a lot like the weapon mastery system, where you get XP for playing on your favorite legends and you have to complete legend unique challenges. And if that's the case, I really dread to think what Respawn are cooking up on the challenge side. Back onto the rare items though, because when I was thinking, is there anything rarer or just as rare as an item nobody owns, I could only think of a few items. For example, there's a Bangalore pose that's been in the files since Apex first came out, and the only place we've ever seen it is on a developer's death box when you kill a flyer in Kings Canyon. So likely there's an item that only a developer has, or not even the developer has, making another super rare item that you can kind of actually see in game to this day. We do know developers have the ability to give themselves items before they're released, because the Phase Walker skin was given to the crypto voice actor weeks before it was released in the store, which was actually really cool, and it'd be really cool if Respawn did more stuff like that. Like, please, give the gaming merchant or somebody a Rampart skin early. That stuff would be really cool to see. In the past, there have been glitches where players were temporarily able to give themselves skins that haven't been released. For example, there's been this Lifeline skin in the files since Apex first came out that's not been released for 20 seasons, but at one point there was a glitch in the firing range where you could apply the recolor textures of this skin to your player model, making it the first time a player's ever worn this skin, which is also very cool to see. And this skin is quite cool. I don't know why Respawn haven't released it. It is a recolor, but still, I would love to get my hands on this because the yellow coat just holds too much drip. But if you were to have any cosmetic that nobody has, what would it be? And maybe subscribe for more videos like this.